There is an art to ruining yourself, and it rarely happens by accident. Most people like to imagine collapse as sudden, a sharp fall, a single mistake, a bottle too many, a night too long. But destruction is not an event, it's a practice. It's a ritual carried out in small, invisible doses, repeated daily until it becomes a rhythm that feels like living. You wake up, you breathe, you destroy a little more of yourself, and you call it coping. It begins quietly, with the small compromises that seem harmless at first, the silence you keep instead of speaking your truth, the job you take that feeds the body but starves the soul, the lie you tell yourself that this is only temporary. Every day you trade a fragment of your integrity for comfort, and every night you tell yourself that you'll fix it tomorrow. But tomorrow is a fraud, a false promise invented to pacify the guilty. There is only ever today, and what we do with it becomes the shape of our ruin. We learn the art of self-destruction early from the world that raises us. We are told to be good, to fit, to obey, to fold the edges of our being so we don't cut anyone else. We are trained to apologize for wanting more. And when the fire inside us begins to suffocate from lack of air, we call that maturity. We trade wonder for safety, rebellion for routine, and our raw, unfiltered truth for the polite smile that gets us through the day. Some call it adaptation, but it's closer to surrender. You adapt long enough, and you forget what it was you were adapting to survive. You become the shape the world wanted from you, a perfect imitation of what they call a functioning adult. Inside, though, something rots, slowly, quietly, politely. Self-destruction is seductive because it looks like control. When the world becomes too uncertain, we'd rather burn ourselves than wait to be burned by someone else. People think addiction is about pleasure. It's not. It's about agency. The alcoholic doesn't drink to feel good. He drinks because, for a few hours, he decides the terms of his own suffering. The gambler isn't chasing money. He's chasing a moment where fate feels negotiable. The lover who keeps returning to what hurts them most isn't naive. They're addicted to familiarity. Pain, when repeated often enough, becomes a kind of home. We destroy ourselves to feel safe, because safety is what we were taught to crave above all else. But real safety, the kind that nourishes, doesn't exist. There is only the illusion of it. Comfort breeds stagnation. Stagnation breeds decay. The human spirit, when not in motion, begins to rot. That's why we build cages and call them lives, then scratch at the walls with anxious hands, wondering why the air feels thinner each year. The greatest irony is that self-destruction rarely looks violent. Most of the time it looks ordinary. A phone scrolling through other people's lives while your own passes unnoticed. A job you hate but don't leave because it's not the right time. A relationship that drains you but feels easier than loneliness. The slow, silent erosion of potential disguised as stability. There is something profoundly tragic about watching someone destroy themselves gracefully. The way they smile through exhaustion, the way they make small talk to hide the emptiness, the way they keep their routines so no one suspects the quiet collapse within. That's the art, to make it look intentional, to perform sanity so well that even you begin to believe it. And yet, destruction always begins with honesty. You cannot ruin yourself without first acknowledging what you truly want. The tragedy is that most people never stop wanting. They simply punish themselves for it. They grow bitter, cynical, sarcastic, all elegant ways of saying, "I gave up." They mock the dreamers, not because they think dreaming is foolish, but because it reminds them of who they used to be before the rot set in. We've built an entire culture around self-destruction and called it freedom. Do what you feel, they say, as if feelings were holy and discipline a sin. We glorify indulgence, mock restraint, and worship comfort as if it were divine. We've replaced the sacred with the easy. The hero's journey has been rewritten into a consumer's cycle. Desire, click, obtain, discard, repeat. We live in a world where distraction is marketed as therapy and escapism as enlightenment. The screens keep us docile, the noise keeps us numb, and somewhere in between the two, we forget that peace was never supposed to be painless. Every generation before us had to fight for something: survival, freedom, dignity. Our war is internal. We battle our own reflection, our own laziness, our own quiet despair. And yet we call it progress because our chains are invisible now.